How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have got another formation guide for you where we're going to be taking a look at the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. The reason for this is I believe it is one of the strongest formations with the latest patches that we have had on FIFA 20. Passing has received quite a big buff in my opinion. It is a lot easier to pass the ball nowadays, which just favours the 4-1-2-1-2 in a way. So I'm going to dive into that in just a second. If you do enjoy the video, please let me know by dropping a like as always, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so if you are interested in that, a link is down below. Be sure to head on over on there. So with the team that we were trialling out with the 4-1-2-1-2, it was quite a strong team, as you can see on the screen. However, I didn't really have a player to suit the left centre mid role because I had Nainggolan, Guardiola, and I was playing Politano in the left centre mid role. He probably wasn't the greatest, so you might favour having good three centre mids. Kante, Pogba, if you picked up a Guardiola icon, anything like that would do quite nicely. Essentially, the way you want it to work is to have that centre defensive mid to be your out and out defender, and then you do also want someone that can make tackles, and then your other centre mid, you want them to be like a box to box that can get forward and aid in the attack as well. But before we go into more player instructions, that sort of thing, we're going to go and dive straight into the custom tactics. At the end of this custom tactics and everything, I will have some gameplay for you as well, so you can see exactly how I play the formation and how it breaks down for you. So jumping in directly to how the tactics kind of work out for you, they're very similar to the stuff that I run across other formations, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, for example. I personally like having my defensive style unbalanced. We go for a 6th width and we also go for a 4 depth. Now I did trial the depth on 3 and I found that to be too defensive. I found there was too much of a gap between my defenders, midfielders and attackers. I wasn't a fan of that. I think 4 to 5 is good. However, you may prefer having less depth just because, as we know, defending with a deeper line is a lot stronger on FIFA. It's a lot easier for people to kind of get used to and that sort of thing. Have a little play with it though. You don't really want to go any less than 3, but 4 for me was the sweet spot to see how you get on with that. Width, as I said, we go with 6 just for the simple fact of, although it is quite a narrow formation, you still need to make sure that you've got the ability to go and cover the wider areas as well, because you're not going to have as many men there. You can't have your team too narrow. They need to be fairly compact, but also available to defend at the wings as well. Moving on to the attacking side of things, offensive style, we go balanced. Your choice here. I have tried this on fast build-up. What I find though is that you drain players' stamina and also they just rush too much in a way. You want this formation to be really good. You can play tiki-taka with it. You can also hold the ball, but I just don't want my players bombing forward at every opportunity they get and draining stamina unnecessarily. Balanced gives you everything on the books: long ball, possession, fast build-up, absolutely everything. It is by far one of the best offensive styles in this game for me. I have tried possession on multiple different formations. It's not something you'd want to use on 4-1-2-1-2. However, you do have the option for that fast build-up. Again, it's personal preference. Give it a try, see what you think. But I do think balance is the best of both worlds kind of on this particular case. For width, we do keep it bang smack in the middle. I tried it on narrower as well, but again, because I like to get my fullbacks involved, I don't want them coming up the pitch too narrow. I still want them to offer a bit of width for me. So just keeping that bang smack in the middle is the perfect thing for you, to be honest with you. I've had it on 3. It didn't really work for me. I felt like it was much harder to hold the ball, but give it a little try. See if you want to knock it down one, knock it up one, see what you think as your personal preference. Players in box, we go a little bit more on this. Normally, I tend to keep players in box to a low. However, we go for 6 on our one here. Reason being is that I do want my centre midfielders to get forward and help contribute towards the attack, and that does that for you brilliantly. Because we're not going to tell our centre mids to stay back while attacking, we are going to give them the choice of what they want to do. If they see an opportunity to get forward and actually attack directly, get into the box, that late run, that can work brilliantly for you. Because you can play 1-2s and sometimes you'll get sent to, just outside the edge of the box, you can make it up to the byline, then look for the cutback, and you'll have, say, for example, Nainggolan was there for me on a lot of cases, as well as Politano, which works fantastic. Again, corners and free kicks, we're just going to leave them on 2 because there's not really too much to dive into directly on that. It's your choice how you want to do for it, but for me, I go short on every corner, so I don't need loads of people in the box when I'm looking at bringing that directly over into there. So let's go ahead and jump into the direct instructions for us. So ignore the team that we've got there. Since we played this weekend league, I have got rid of that team and just got a little bit of a base one here. So we're going to go through and dive into each individual player and how I get them set up for us. So when it comes to goalkeeper, I do like having mine on sweeper keeper and also comes for crosses. I use ter Stegen on my normal weekend league team, and he does brilliantly for this. I've explained it in previous videos, so I'm not going to go over it too much again. But yeah, he does an absolute fantastic job at doing that. When it comes to fullbacks, a little bit different here. I normally have them unbalanced, but with 4-1-2-1-2, I find that if you have them unbalanced, you are open to the counter way too much. And for you guys, as average FIFA players, let's say, it's a very risky formation to play and have your fullbacks unbalanced. Try stay back while attacking. You may find sometimes you might need those fullbacks. That's when you need to use your L1 or LB button to trigger the run directly, whether you play them with a 1-2 or you tell them to run, that sort of thing as well. And as always, I have them on overlap instead of inverted. That's the same for my right back and my left back. When it comes to centre backs, I just have them on conservative interceptions because I find that Ferdinand is quite aggressive. I don't want him making unnecessary tackles, trying to intercept the ball, that sort of thing. So I have that for both of them as well. When it comes to the CDM, we go for cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, cover centre. And then when it comes to the right centre mid and the left centre mid, we leave them everything unbalanced. We don't touch them whatsoever. This is where you want to have a lot of your coins spent in the team when it comes to your right centre mid and your left centre mid. You want them to be making the decisions directly in game, whether they're going to go forward, stay back on this attack, that sort of thing as well. When it comes to the centre attacking mid, we have them on stay forward, nothing else directly on there. And then when it comes to our right striker and our left striker, we go for getting behind on both of them. This can vary dependent on the striker that you've got. So for me, I did trial having Balotelli just unbalanced and leaving him on there, not having him on getting behind because he's a bit lazy, doesn't really work that hard. Having him on balanced and with him being the height that he is, it can work quite nicely to have him come forward sometimes, play for the long ball, and then have CR7 running in directly behind. Going to run into some gameplay now for you just so you can see how the formation plays and what I think of it. To be honest with you guys, I really do like this formation. The only downside to it, in my personal opinion, is that it's very weak defensively. If you're not a great defender, this might not be the formation for you. However, the way I kind of play this formation for myself is I'm not too bothered about how many I concede. I'm more bothered that I'm just going to outscore you as a general sort of rule of thumb, which isn't always the greatest tactic to take within FIFA, but it is one thing to bear in mind. When I am chasing a game, this formation will create you goals, well, create you chances. It's up to you to take them. I then move my fullbacks onto balance to just give you that bit more of an aid. I have trialed having my centre defensive mid on to drop between defenders, so you almost make a 3 at the back, and then you tell your fullbacks to push forward. That can work, but I do want to dive into that a little bit more just to see how I like it and that sort of thing. I personally absolutely love having the 2 strikers and the cam. I find it very easy to play 1-2s, use the triangle, that sort of thing. You have to use your strikers in a way that's not predictable though. You will constantly be looking for that 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. It's a very repetitive formation. You need to make sure you're adding in fake shots, drag backs, ball rolls, skill moves, anything you can do to just switch up the attack. Sometimes you want to play slow and hold the ball as much as you can, but then also you want to increase the speed of your attack. Keep the opponent guessing directly when it comes to it. I do believe that this is one of the strongest formations on the game at the minute. Some of the ones it can struggle up against is, say for example, your 4-2-3-1 or even the 4-4-2, just because they're both solid formations. The 4-2-3-1, when you've got the 2 centre defensive mids directly there in front of your strikers, it can make it difficult to find them at times, but that's where you need to pick out the cam, who will then try and find your strikers on that front. I want to thank you all very much for watching though. That is everything that I've got to say with this formation. If you did enjoy, please do let me know by dropping a like and your thoughts down below. As I said before, if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.